Years ago, there was a Stephen King movie called Silver Bullet. In it, there was a young lady who was pregnant, not married, and she was trying to tell her boyfriend that she didn't know what she was going to do with this baby that they made. And she was totally not prepared to take care of this baby, and she was looking for his help. The young man looked her in the face and said the coldest thing I've ever heard in cinematic history. He said, "Your bun, your oven, your problem. Think of the good times, baby," and got up and walked off. Every time I hear Kody talk and communicate with one of his wives, with the exception of Robin, about the children, I think of that scene. Hi, my name is James, and this is my take on reality. Let's get it. Now, the term deadbeat comes to mind when I think of Kody. Now, the funny thing about being a deadbeat dad, you always assume that deadbeat dad is absentee. The kids don't have any idea what he looks like or what he sounds like because they haven't seen him. The wife hasn't talked to him in forever, and he's providing no support. Deadbeats, I think, have tiers. And there's deadbeats who are financial deadbeats, and there are certainly deadbeats who are emotional and supportive deadbeats. Kody falls into that list because no matter what happens with any wife and their children, with the exception of Robin, Kody always has a very hands-off approach. Remember last season when he was talking to Janelle and his sons were upset because they hadn't seen him in forever? He refused to stop by the house. He conveniently blamed the virus that was going on at the time as to why he wasn't coming around. But they had said that they hadn't seen him even before that. And he certainly wasn't spending the night over at his house, at their house, like he was supposed to, because he was spending the night over at his current wife's house, Robin. When that happened, they were very upset and they were complaining. And one of the kids actually broke down crying, said that he needed his father and he wanted to spend time with him. And Kody very coldly said, "Hey, well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really worried about it." He went on later to try to tell Janelle that she needed to kick the kids out of the house so he could come home more often. But as Janelle had relayed, she's not going to kick her kids out of the house so that maybe she could see Kody once a week for dinner, if that, or kind of in passing, if that. So I don't blame her. But it's just kind of how he approaches his children is very troublesome. Even most recently last season when we were watching Janelle's other oldest child, the young lady, she got married. Actually, when she got engaged, Kody made a big deal that he was so supportive and he's there. And one of the great respectful things that her then fiance had did was he came to him and asked for permission for his daughter's hand in marriage. And that shows that he has a strong bond to family because family is so important. Then last season, that same daughter, her daughter, his grandchild, was born with a malformed leg and it was going to require amputation. And instead of Kody going down to check on his granddaughter, because family is important, or checking on his own daughter because that's her child, because family is important, Kody decides that he's going to stay in the house with Robin because that's most important. At the same time that surgery was happening, one of Christine's daughters was having back surgery to cure her scoliosis. This child, I don't know how she was walking around and she was looking as chipper as she was, but by the angle of the x-ray that you saw in her back, that her spine was almost a dang on right angle. Like, that had to be the most painful experience ever. Like, her nerve endings must have felt like she was on fire. Kody was angry, not because, they hid this from him and he didn't know anything about it. He was angry because they scheduled the surgery and he wasn't going to be able to be there. Because they scheduled a surgery for her back surgery, and they didn't take into account his convenience. They didn't consider him at all and how this would affect him, right? Then they go to a family gathering, and one of Janelle's children says something to the effect of, "Remember when you were on a bus and you used to cry almost every day because you were in such pain on the bus. Kody sat there and said, oh, I had no idea she was in that much pain. How could you not know? How could you not know? You went to the doctor's appointments, or some of them. I saw them there for a couple of the doctor's appointments where they showed you the x-rays. And you're still standing there saying, I didn't know. So when you were there, were you there physically, but you weren't there mentally? Were you not paying attention? How do you send your daughter, Christine's daughter, off to New York to get back surgery? She's getting her spine operated on. They're going to drive pins in and screw her spine straight with using bands. How do you not make sure that you can make an exception so that you can be there for your daughter? If that was my child, there's nothing that would have been important enough to keep me away from that hospital appointment. There's nothing that would have kept me off that plane. I don't care if I'd have had to get on a plane. I'd have ride my bicycle from Arizona to New York. It would have took me maybe a month to do it. And maybe I'd be in the hospital bed next to her. But I would have been there. And even if you can't make it, which you could have. Oh, I can't take, they were going up there for a month and I can't be away from the other kids that long. No, but you could have got on a plane, said, look, kids, your sister needs me. Family first. Family is important. I'll get on a plane, go out there with her, get off the plane, go to the doctor's appointment or the surgery, be there for recovery, get back on a plane, go home, spend 2 weeks in quarantine, whatever. Everything is everything. And you could video chat your kids because we have technology now. Then, okay, fine. You didn't want to do that. Your daughter, even though she was horrified, she sat there and cried for her father. You refused to even hug that child. Wouldn't shake a hand, wouldn't high five, a fist bump, or none of it. Because you had to social distance, because you had to go home to Robin's kids. And there was no way you were going to take a chance not to come and give you that comforting hug to your daughter. And me, myself, as a man, I don't understand how you could do that. And frankly, I don't want to understand how you could do that. There's some things I'm okay with not knowing. I never want to be in a situation where I understand why you would do that to your child. When they're at the picnic talking about it, he does the ultimate deadbeat dad rap where he pretends like he's involved. Oh yeah, they're going to straighten her spine out and she's going to be about 3 inches taller. And then she's probably going to be about my height, if not taller. Haha, isn't that great? Oh my goodness. And this is what's really great is like he's telling the kid something because he's so involved. He had no idea. Captain, I don't know. And that's the kind of father he is. And one of the final things that I would even say about this, for Christine and women who are in similar situations, trying to explain to Robin what is going on or why you feel the way you feel. Robin will never understand how you feel or why you feel the way you feel. To Robin, Kody is a great father. Because Kody is there every night. Kody makes sure that those kids, her kids, are provided for. Where Kody was telling Janelle's kids they had to get the hell out the house at 18, Robin's kids, I think, are 20, 18, 19, 20 years old, still living in the house, no problem. Those aren't even his biological kids. He's telling his baby mom, his wife, that she got to put her kids out, which are his biological kids. Meanwhile, he's taking care of his stepkids because he's such a caring man and has such an open heart and family first. You can't explain to somebody in that situation what you're going through and why you feel the way you feel. They're never going to understand. No matter how you try to explain it, one person can be many things to many different people. Kody, for Christine, for Janelle's kids, for Mary's kid, he's not there. And maybe he's making that up with Robin's kids. I don't know. But as far as those older kids are concerned, he's just a bad dad. My name is James. That's my take on reality. Let me know what you guys' take is down below. And I'm out. 'Cause I've been living life right like